Hare Krishna. So let's get started. We'll start with the Mangala Charanam. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Nadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to today's class. We're going to do our memorization verse of the week, which is 927. It's the whatever verse. Whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever you offer. So 927. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurusva mad arpanam. Let's do it again. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurusva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering unto me. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we were at chapter 11, the universal form, and last class, which was on Wednesday, we read from chapter 1 to chapter 9, I think. Yeah, chapter 9. So that was all about Arjuna asking Krishna to show his universal form. I want to see that form of yours, the one that you just talked about, how all your opulences pervade this universe. And then Krishna, he presumably manifests it, and he's saying, just see, Arjuna, behold, this, that, and the other thing. But Arjuna can't see anything because Krishna didn't give him the vision. The vision that he had previously given Arjuna, is to be able to see his two-armed form, because his relationship is with Krishna's friend. And so his relationship is with his two-armed form. Arjuna doesn't have a relationship with the universal form, so that's kind of irrelevant for Arjuna. But Arjuna has his reasons for wanting to see the universal form. Does anyone remember what the reasons were? There were two reasons, maybe three, but definitely two reasons why Arjuna was requesting to see the universal form. Yeah, Divya?
I forget the exact way you worded it, but it was also so that everyone could, I guess, recognize Krishna's supremacy. And according to the way they understand, like Krishna, like Arjuna did not, his mood was not, Krishna has to prove himself to me. It was just so that people that do have that mood can, I guess, somehow acknowledge his supremacy in his universal form.
Yeah. Yeah, because when Krishna came to this planet, for the most part, he was just acting like a regular boy, a very attractive, wonderful boy, but still he was a regular boy with two arms, two legs, little smiling face, curly hair, running around in Vrindavan barefoot and doing mischief. Uh, you know, so people might have thought, oh, he's just a very beautiful, wonderful boy. He's an exceptional personality, but he's not the supreme personality. So then Arjuna is asking him, no, show everybody how you're the supreme personality. So there's no shadow of a doubt about your divinity. And then there was another reason too why Arjuna requested that Prabhupada mentions. Anyone remember? Something to do with in the future how people would come along and claim to be God. Divya?
So that in the future, if anyone claims to be God, they'll have to exhibit their universal form, or like which they obviously won't be able to do. So
Right.
no one can falsely claim to be God if they're not able to prove that they actually are, which they're not.
Ex- Exactly. Yeah. So to be able to, yeah, have a criterion for who's actually an incarnation of the Lord so that these bogus people get called out, basically. Imposters are exposed for who they actually are, which is not God. Okay. All right. So then we left off with Krishna giving Arjuna the uh, Divyam Chakshu, right? The divine eyes or eyes of demigod vision so that he can see Krishna in another way, a way that usually he doesn't perceive because he's covered by Krishna's Yoga Maya potency. So now, in text 9, I think we read text 9, Sanjay saying, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of God, had displayed his universal form to Arjuna. So now in the next verses, Sanjay is going to say, because Sanjay was seeing it as well, right? Sanjay was the secretary of Dhritarashtra. And remember way back in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra was asking Sanjay, because he was very worried about what was happening on the battlefield. Sanjay, what is happening? My sons are there, the sons of Pandu are there. What are they doing? Please, describe to me what's going on the battlefield. So Sanjay is describing all this. And so when Krishna shows his universal form, Sanjay is seeing it too. And he's also pretty stunned by the whole thing. But he's seeing as Arjuna sees, so he's describing what he sees, and he's also describing Arjuna's reactions. So Dhritarashtra is getting a very full picture here. So this is Sanjay speaking. Text 10 to 11. Anekavakranayanam, anekadbhuta darshanam, anekadivya bharanam, divyanekodyatayudam, divyamalyambaradharam, divyagandhanulepanam, sarvascharyamayam devam, anantam vishvatomukam. Do you want to read there, Divya?
Sure. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. In these two verses, the repeated use of the word many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe, but by the grace of the Lord, Arjuna could see them while sitting in one place. That was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, so aneka. Eka means one, and aneka means not one. So it means many, various. Prabhupada translates it. In the translation, he says various. And then in the word for word, he translates as various or many. And then in the translation, he's saying unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, many weapons, many scents, all these things. So many, 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 many things, because it was basically everything in the universe all in one place. So you can just imagine it's like many, 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 countless faces, countless forms, countless images of things. And everything is divya, right? You probably noticed the repetition of that word, especially you, Divya, since that's your name. So we had Divya Bharanam, Divya Aneka, Divya Malyambara, Divya Ganda, right? Everything is divine. So it's many, many things, and everything is divine. So it's not just many, many things like you walk into like um, a boutique and they have many, many items there to sell, or you walk into a museum and they have many, many works of art and sculptures and things like that. But there's everything is divine. Nothing there is mundane. Nothing is boring. Nothing is dull. Everything is bright and vibrant and beautiful and effulgent and filled with divine potencies and opulences. And it's something very incredible and inconceivable. Okay, text 12. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavad Yugapad Uttita Yadi Bha Sadrishi Sa Syad Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. Alia, you want to try reading? See if your connection is good today.
Hello, yes, let me try. You can hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. What Arjuna saw was indescribable. Yet Sanjaya is trying to give a mental pictures of that great revelation of Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjaya nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjaya was the grace of Vyasa, could see whatever happened. Thus he now compares the situation as far as it can be understood to an unimaginable phenomenon. Thousand of suns.
Thank you. Yeah, so Dhritarashtra is a blind old man and he can't see anything. So Sanjay is seeing it and he's trying to give Dhritarashtra, an idea of what he's seeing. And so, yeah, he's saying, so I was just saying that everything there is because it's divine, it's radiant, it's effulgent, and so many divine, radiant, effulgent things all in one place at the same time is just so bright, right? It's just like, and so he's saying that, yeah, if hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at the same time, that might resemble the effulgence of the universal form. So it's like, when you watch a sunrise and the sun is first coming up, and it's like, red, and you can look at it. But then after some time, it turns white and its full radiance is there. And then, within half an hour to 1 hour, you can't even look at it. It's too bright. So imagine that times hundreds and thousands, and that's how bright it is. So it's amazing that Arjuna or Sanjay can even see it. But somehow, by Krishna's grace, they're able to see it and see all the different shapes there. So, text 13. Tatraikastam jagat kritsnam pravibhaktam anekada apashyad devadevasya sharire pandavastada. Kritika, would you like to read?
Yes. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Purport. The word Tatra there is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on this chariot, Arjuna could see all of these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and Krishna.
Mhm. Yeah, so imagine all the different stars and moons and planets in all the universes, and they're all like right there in front of you. So that's another thing, it's just like pretty amazing. Tatra there. Probably saying it's significant because everything was Tatra, everything was right there, right in front of his eyes. He's sitting on the chariot and he's seeing everything. And then Prabhupada makes the point that others couldn't see. Arjuna could see it because Krishna gave him the vision to see, and Sanjay could see it because Srila Vyasadeva gave him the blessing, the empowerment to be able to see. But all those other millions of soldiers that were assembled on the battlefield were just not seeing it at all. So it must have been very curious, very bewildering for them to see, because we're going to see how Arjuna's reacting to it. If they're watching him, they must be like, what is going on with him? Like what is going on with him? So it's a mystery to them. And it just shows how, according to our qualification, according to the amount of mercy that is bestowed on us, we're able to have different vision, right? Like some people go and see the deity, like they'll go see Radhakalachandji there in Dallas, and they'll just see some stone statue, just like a doll, like a pretty doll that's all dressed up in clothes and jewelry and things. And then somebody else will go and see, okay, this is a deity, this is a form of the Lord, I should offer my respects. And then somebody else will go see and see that it's Krishna himself, Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna fully manifested there right in front of them, and there'll be tears flowing from their eyes and inspired to all kinds of prayers and glorifications, and or maybe they even faint on the ground like Lord Chaitanya did when he saw Lord Jagannath. So it just depends on the mercy. According to the Lord's mercy that's bestowed on that particular soul, then they have a different vision. Or like going to Vrindavan. Some people go to Vrindavan and all they see is like some skinny dogs and garbage here and there, and um, crowds of people and cows wandering the streets and some houses that need a new paint job or something. Yeah, it's like dilapidated buildings. So, yeah, that's one. I mean, it's there, that's what they see. But then other people see, oh, this is a divine place. It's the place of the Lord. The Lord performed his pastimes. They're very conscious of that, and they kind of overlook all the other things, and they appreciate this is a transcendental place, this is a place of Krishna. And many pure devotees live here, and they're tuned into the energy of all the collective devotion that's going on in the place and the history. And then another person, they just see Vrindavan. They just see like the spiritual world, They don't see like dirt and asphalt on the ground. They see, Chintamani gems, like rubies and sapphires, and they see the trees are like full of flowers and fruits and singing parrots and peacocks and bumblebees buzzing around, hives dripping with honey, and like just the way it's described in Vrindavan. So depending on the level of our devotion, then Krishna reciprocates and he gives us a certain quality of vision that we can see things. The same thing when we see each other, like you see some materialistic person, they see a person and they just see a body. They see, oh, that one's got a funny nose, or that one's got, nice hairstyle, or that one, I like the clothes that they're wearing, or those cool tattoos that they have, or so they just see the body, that they judge by the body. Oh, this is a woman, she's like that. This is a Muslim, they're like that. This is a whatever, they have their prejudices and they make their judgments according to the body. And then someone else, they can appreciate, oh, this is a person with feelings, with thoughts, with intelligence, with experience. They probably have a lot of interesting things to say and share. And I'd like to get to know them as a person, as a personality. What are their beliefs? What are their values? So that's a little more because it's not just the gross body, but they're interested in like the subtle, something a little deeper, right? But still it's kind of mundane because it's just subtle material, right? About their thoughts and feelings, mind, intelligence, and ego. And then somebody else will see, oh, beyond all that, there's a soul. There's a soul who is an eternal spiritual being who has an eternal relationship with Krishna. And somehow they're suffering here in this material world. They're living out their karma because of their past deeds, and but they have an eternal relationship, and they're meant to be in some place in the spiritual world like that. And then somebody else will be able to have such pure vision that they'll be able to just look at that person and know, like, what is their eternal spiritual identity? You know, are they a cowherd boy in Raj Leela? Are they one of Krishna's, like a servant to one of Krishna's queens in Dwarka or something like that, right? Be able to actually see the soul and who they are. That's very rare. But yeah, different levels of vision depending on our realization and how the degree to which Krishna has showered us with his mercy. So we're seeing that here in the Battle of Kurukshetra. Some are seeing the whole thing, maybe some are seeing part of it, but most of them aren't seeing anything at all because it's divya, it's divine, it's transcendental, and they don't have transcendental vision. Right? Krishna gave him the divine chakshus, the divya eyes, so he can see the divya form. But if you have mundane eyes, you can see the divine form. So that's something we can pray for. We can pray to Krishna, please, Krishna, I'm tired of just seeing material things. I'm tired of seeing myself as a material body. I'm tired of just seeing myself as a collection of thoughts and feelings. I'm tired of just thinking that this material world is all in all, and all the judgments that I make about people too, based on material, gross or subtle considerations. I really want to see the soul. I really want to have that spiritual vision where I can understand that, oh, here's an eternal servant of Krishna, and I'm an eternal servant of Krishna, and I have a relationship with Krishna, and be able to actually help people on the spiritual platform and help others awaken their spiritual vision. And that comes gradually by practicing devotional service. So, okay. Any thoughts on this? Divya?
I remember like a few years ago when I was kind of chanting here and there, but it was never like I wasn't doing like a set number of rounds every day. It was more like, how am I feeling today? Like, do I feel like I can really be attentive and sit down for a while and like chant? And I remember one time I was sitting for like an hour and I was chanting, and I really, really, really did feel Krishna's presence. And it was almost kind of like I don't know, like a shocking, it was like a surprising feeling because I never really felt that. Or I don't know if this is not appropriate to share, but I really, really did feel like I did feel, at least I feel like I felt Krishna's presence. And I remember this was like when I was just kind of beginning and coming into, like taking a personal interest in Krishna consciousness. And I remember one time I had a driving lesson, and I was about to turn on a really busy intersection. It was during rush hour traffic. There was a bunch of cars, and it was a pretty narrow street. And I really was sure that I was going to hit someone. My driving instructor was pretty confident that I'd be okay. And I remember just praying to Krishna, like, I can't make this turn. I'm definitely going to crash or hit something. And like, please, like, Krishna, take the wheel. Like, please, like, help me. And I really felt like he drove through me. Like I turned and everything was perfect, but I really felt like he helped me. And then I was reflecting a lot on that, and I missed that feeling of like that enthusiasm that you have like kind of at the beginning of spiritual life. Everything is so wonderful because I feel like you're also less familiar with devotees. Everyone is so wonderful. Everything is so wonderful. You're not so accustomed to it. So you kind of, or at least I felt like I experienced the full effect of it without my mind tainting it, if that makes sense. And I would think, oh, that's because I was really chanting sincerely. At least like when I would chant, I would really give it all of me. And I would really just try to hear Krishna's name and meditate on the fact that Krishna is his name. They're non-different. But beyond that, actually, it wasn't me or mine. You endeavor, but then it's Krishna who showers you with mercy. So, and then he was the ability in me to be able to sit down and focus and chant like that. So it just made me, that was when I realized, wow, I'm like dependent on Krishna for literally everything, for anything, for chanting attentively. And I had a drop of that. And so it was like, it was an incredible feeling of like feeling Krishna's mercy that way and feeling his presence and praying for that. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, Krishna, he's actually there, like Prahlad Maharaj says, he's everywhere. And then here Kashipu is like, is he in the pillar? And Prahlad's like, of course he is, he's everywhere. So he's actually everywhere, and he's just waiting for us to reach out, to call out to him, to call his names, to pray, ask for his help, take shelter of him. And then he shows us, like when you had to make the turn with the car, the difficult turn. He shows, he's like, yep, I'm right here. You just ask me, and here I am. I'm just here to help you. So, yeah. And when we really want to chant, not just to like get our rounds done or whatever, or to impress anybody, but we really want to connect with Krishna deeply, then he's also like, yep, I'm actually here. It's true what they say that I'm non different from my name. And sometimes he gives us that experience. But we have to, we have to desire it. We have to open our hearts to that, to him. Okay, great. Thank you. Let's go to text 14. Tata sa vismaya vishto rishtadoma dhananjaya pranamya shirasa devam kritanjalir abhasata. Translation. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship, but here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect, and with folded hands he is praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as the reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all the relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods, or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here, Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder. And in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm, and quiet, he became ecstatic. His hair stood up, and he began to offer his obeisances unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way. Yeah, so this is Krishna is called Akila Rasamrita Murti, which means the complete form of rasas, of all the rasas. Akila means complete or all or full. Akila Rasa means all the relationships, all the different moods. Amrita means the nectarian. All these relationships with Krishna are nectarian. And Murti means the form. So Krishna is that personality who embodies all the different nectarian relationships that are possible to have with anyone can be had with Krishna. And Prabhupada says that there are 12 general categories of relationships with Krishna. 5 of them are primary and 7 are secondary. So the primary relationships are like Shantaras, which is neutrality, Dasyaras, servitude, Sakyaras is friendship, Vatsalya rasa is parental affection, and Madhurya rasa is conjugal love. So everybody has a relationship with Krishna in one of those primary rasas, and that is called one's sthayi bhav, which means we'll learn about this more when we get to nectar devotion. But sthayi means fixed. That's your rasa. So if you're in Madhurya rasa, then you're not going to be in Shanta rasa. If you're in Dasya rasa, you're not going to be in Vatsalya rasa. You're in one of those is your fixed rasa. That's your predominant rasa, which is your relationship with Krishna. But then, just like with any relationship, like let's say you have a friendship with someone. So sometimes you're joking with your friend, right? And that's like it's like a mood within the relationship. There's different moods. So sometimes the mood is joking. You're joking, you're just teasing each other, you're laughing, having a good time. And then other times maybe you're you're very surprised. Your friend did something that was just like, oh my God, that's crazy. I can't believe you just did that, right? So you're not laughing anymore. Maybe it's a serious matter. Maybe it's a dangerous situation, so you're just like, oh my God, I'm just like stupefied that you did that. Or maybe your friend does something like it's just like totally off, they did something just wrong, and you get upset with them and you're angry and you're just feeling like, why did you do that? I can't believe it. I thought you were my friend, right? So you're angry with them. And then of course you get over it because the relationship is the friendship doesn't end, and it's not like it becomes something else. Your relationship is friendship, but sometimes there's anger, you're exchanging angry words, sometimes you're joking words, sometimes there's compassion, right? Like let's say your friend just lost a loved one. So there's going to be a lot of compassion. Oh, sorry that you had to go through this. Just can I give you a hug? Can I you know, make you dinner or something? It's like you want to make your friend feel better. So it's a different mood, all these different moods. So all the different moods that I just gave examples of are secondary rasas. So with Krishna, we'll have one predominant rasa or primary rasa, and then depending on context, what's going on in our life, in Krishna's pastimes or whatever, then there'll be some other moods that rise and fall, like waves. Like ocean is at a certain level, but the waves are sometimes up, sometimes down, like that. So this is called Prema Tarangini. Yeah, Prema means love for Krishna, and Taranga means waves, or Lahari means also waves. So Prema Lahari means there are waves of love. Sometimes it's in this mood, sometimes it's like that. Right? Sometimes you're at the beach and there's like gentle waves, they just like cascading over you, very relaxing. And sometimes a big wave comes and just knocks you over, right? And just slams you down. You're like, oh my God, you get up and you're like disoriented. So like that, there's different kinds of waves that create different experiences. So Arjuna's relationship with Krishna is Sakyaras. They're friends, but right now yeah. And sometimes the secondary ras it kind of like overshadows the primary ras. Like for example, if you're angry with your friend, you can feel like your friend is not your friend. They just did something to hurt you and you're angry and you almost look like you're inimical towards each other, the way you're talking to each other, you're shouting at each other, you're, exchanging some unpleasant words. So it can seem looks like to someone who doesn't know you, they might think that you hate each other. You're like enemies, but actually you're friends. So, uh, so here the secondary rasa of Adbhuta ras, Adbhuta means wonder, is overwhelming Arjuna's friendship. That's what Prabhupada says. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder. And so now he's not acting like a friend, right? Because friends don't pay obeisances to each other. I mean, in ISKCON, I guess we kind of do our vanchakalpas, but it's like, yeah, this is like really with a mood of awe and reverence, like folded hands, and he's praying, my dear Lord, this, that, you're so great and wonderful, and I can't believe. Yeah, so this is the secondary rasa that's arising. So this is just a little bit about the science of rasas here that every devotee has with Krishna, and we're seeing this with Arjuna. Okay, so now in this mood, which is a unconventional mood for Arjuna, but he has this mood of Adbhuta rasa, we're going to see what he's going to say here. Text 15. Arjuna uvacha pashyami devams tava deva dehe sarvams tata bhuta vishesha sangan Brahmanam isham kamalasanastam rishimscha sarvam uragamscha divyan. You notice how the meter changes? So whenever there's some when the emotions intensify, then in Bhagavad Gita the meter changes. It goes from the 8 syllable line to the 11 syllable line. Okay, Divya, would you like to read?
Sure. Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents." Arjuna sees everything in the universe. Therefore, he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpent upon which the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu lies in the lower regions of the universe. This snake bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna can see from the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet where Brahma, the first creature of the universe, resides. That means that from the beginning to the end, everything could be seen by Arjuna, who was sitting in one place on his chariot. This was possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, so here in this verse and in the subsequent verses here in this section, you're going to see Arjuna saying, Pashyami, I see. And then he's describing what he sees, right? Pashyami devams tabadeva deha. I see the demigods. I see this, that. So he's basically listing, I see this, I see that. So it's almost like, I mean, can you imagine? It's like you're standing there next to your friend. 1 minute, he's just there looking like he always looks. And next minute, you see all these things just coming out of his body, just like expanding from his body. You know, all the different demigods and planets and Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and the sages and these like wild celestial serpents and all these crazy things just like shooting out of your friend's body and, you know, in full 3D living color and effulgent and all these things. It's something like very amazing. So Arjuna, it's on when I read these sections, I feel like uh, um, Arjuna is so surprised by what he sees that it's almost like he's just saying, I see this, I see that, I see the other thing. Like he's seeking validation that he's not hallucinating. You know, he's not just like having hallucination. He's like, you know, it's like if you see something that looks really weird and you're not sure if you're seeing things properly, you're like, do you see that thing over there? Doesn't it look like, am I really seeing it or am I just, is it shadows or is something really there? Right? You know? So you're kind of like saying, I see something over there, waiting for somebody to say, oh yeah, I see it too. Yeah, it's really there. Yeah, you're not just like, you know, hallucinating or something, it's real. So that's kind of the mood here that I see this. And he's going to continue like this in text 16. Aneka bahudara netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam nantam namadyam napunastavadim pashyami viveshvara vishvarupa. I'll just read this, it's short. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded everywhere, without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is unlimited. Thus, through him, everything could be seen. So this is again, he's saying, I see. So now it's not only, yeah, because there's so many different forms that they're different, and they all have their arms and eyes and bellies and legs and mouths, and he's just seeing them all like all in one place, like coming out of each other and, you know, overlapping each other. Text 17. Kiritinam gaddinam chakrinam cha tejo rashim sarvato diptimantam pashyami tvam durniriksham samantat diptanalarka dyutim aprameyam. Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides, like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs. So again, here he's talking about, well, Sanjay was saying it before to Dhritarashtra, and now Sanjay's relaying what Arjuna is saying, that, yeah, this is like really bright, very glaring effulgence, and spreading on all sides. So it's already bright and it's already like incredible, and it's just expanding. It's like just spreading on all sides. It's getting like north, south, east, west. It's just expanding and taking up the limits of the whole, his vision, right? Like 360-degree vision is just like all around it. It's just the universal form. Text 18. Tvam aksharam paramam viditavyam, tvamasya vishvasya param nidhanam, tvam avyaya shashvata dharma gupta, sanatanas tvam purusho mato me. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. That is my opinion. So here Arjuna, he's trying to like make sense of what's going on. So first he was just saying, I see this and I see that. And now he's like, wait a minute. All these things that I'm seeing, it's all just Krishna. That means Krishna is like, he's everything. He's saying you are the ultimate resting place of the whole universe. This whole universe all just rests in your body. I see it because I just saw it all coming out of you. So if it wasn't in you, how does it just come out of you? How's it just expanded from you? Because it must be in there. So you are the resting place of everything, and the source of everything, and the maintainer of everything. He says that is my opinion. In other words, that's what I'm concluding from this observation, from what I'm seeing. This is, I think, what else could it be, right? Like, what else could it be? So, okay, text 19. Anadimadyantam viryam anantavahum shashisurya netram pashyami tvam diptahutashavakram swatejasa vishvam idam tapantam. Someone else want to read?
I can read.
Okay,
You
please.
are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Purport: There is no limit to the extent of the six opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here and in many other places there is repetition, but according to the scriptures, repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at a time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. This is not a flaw.
Mhm. Thank you. Yeah, so here we can see like the intense emotional state of Arjuna, right? That he's like repeating himself because he can't believe it. He can't get over it. He's just like, this is incredible. Like, I just, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, because before he said many, many arms, bellies, mouths, eyes, and now he's saying similarly like numberless arms. And yeah, he had just said about like the glaring effulgence is spreading like blazing fire on all sides. And now he's saying, I see you with blazing fire coming forth. Yeah. And now he's taking it a step further, saying this blazing fire is not just there, it's not just bright, but it seems that it's so strong this radiance could just burn the whole universe to ashes. So it's very, it's a lot, it's like, it's very overwhelming. Okay, text 20. Dyava prativyor idam antaram hi vyaptam tvaikena dishascha sarvaha dristvadbhutam rupam ugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyatitam mahatmam. Alia, would you like to read?
Yes. Although you're Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all the space between. O Great One, seeing these wonders and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Diavad apritivyo, the space between heaven and earth. Aloka tradiam, the three words are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjuna see in the universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna's scene of the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw that universal form on the battlefield, from on the battlefield.
Thank you. Yeah, so as the universal form spread like beyond just the battlefield of Kurukshetra into the sky and up into the outer space and past the close by planets and into the heavens and and beyond into the higher planetary systems, then some of the people on those higher planets are also, and people who live on the higher planets are also highly qualified people, and that's why they're on the higher planets. So, some of the demigods are sages, rishis, and, people like Lord Brahma, then they're able to see it because they're devotees, basically, because they're learned transcendentalists. And so, yeah, that's what Srila Prabhupada's saying here, that some people in other planetary systems also were able to see this universal form. Not everybody, but some of them. Whoever Krishna endowed with a divine vision, or who had already had divine vision bestowed on them previously. So, yeah. And when they saw it, they were like, whoa, what is going on? Right? It says they were perturbed. So, seeing this wondrous, adbhutam means wondrous, and ugram means terrible because it was like scary. Seeing this wonderful and terrible form. The planetary, all these people in different planetary systems, whoever was able to see it, they were perturbed. Yeah, pravyatitam, perturbed. So that was quite a sight. Just imagine if you're sitting in your room and you look out the window. You look out the window and you see all these forms with heads and arms and legs and teeth and planets, and it's bright. I mean, you're gonna think it's the end of the world. Like you're not gonna know what to think. It's gonna be disturbing, right? You're gonna be like, oh my God, should I call 911? What is going on? I'm gonna start saying Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. So now, yeah, Arjuna's gonna continue describing what he sees here. Amihi tvam surasanga vishanti kechid vita pranjalayo grinanti swastityuktva maharshi siddha sangha stuvanti tvam stutibi pushkalabihi. Divya?
All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying, "All peace," are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. The demigods in all the planetary systems feared the terrific manifestation of the universal form and its glaring effulgence, and so prayed for protection.
Yeah, the demigods were seeing this and they didn't know what was going on. They thought, oh no, whatever this thing is, it's just going to take over our planet. It's going to like crush everything and devour everything, right? Because it was full of all these mouths and eyes, and some of the mouths, like when we look at the painting of the universal form, it's like fire shooting out of the mouths, and there's like, yeah, it's just like, it's very amazing. So they're afraid and they're praying, right? Folded hands, all peace, shanti, shanti. And their stuti means they're offering prayers. Puskalabi means they're singing Vedic hymns, right? Like I was saying, if you see that, you're going to be like, Hare Krishna, Namaste, Narasimhaya. Like, what is going on? So they're doing the same thing. They're singing prayers, chanting hymns, praying for peace and like let everything be okay. Yeah. So here Arjuna is seeing this. He's seeing the demigods reacting like this, and his mood is also shifting because at first it was just wonderful, but now as it's expanding and it's kind of like morphing into a different mood, and soon we're going to see like a very scary side. We're going to see what's called Kala Rupa. the time. Kala means time. So the Kala Rupa, time is the destroyer of everything. And now Krishna is going to manifest the universal form's destructive feature. And so it's going to go from being just amazing and wonderful and bright and beautiful to being like destructive and fierce and scary. So the demigods are already afraid, and Arjuna's mood is also going to change a little bit. Okay, text 22. Rudraditya vasavo ye chasadya vishve svino marutash gandharva yaksha surasiddha sangha vikshanti tvam vismitas chaiva sarve. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadyas, the Vishvadevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. So it looks like these beings on the higher planets, like quite a few of them were actually able to see the universal form. So yeah, even the Yakshas and some of the Asuras, the demons, because they're higher than human beings. So Krishna was giving them a glimpse. Rupam mahate bahuvaktra mahabaho bahurupadam bahudaram bahudam strakaralam drishtva loka pravyatitas. O mighty armed one, all the planets and their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, bellies, legs and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. So before he was talking about how, the beings in the higher planets were disturbed, pravyatitam, and now he's using the same word again, that the people on all these planets are pravyatitam, and then he's saying tata aham, and so am I. I'm also pretty disturbed by this. Like Krishna, they're all afraid, and I'm feeling a little uncomfortable with this too. So yeah, text 24. Navasprisham diptamanekavarnam Vyatananam diptavishalanetram Drishtva hi tvam pravyati tantaratma Dritim navindami shamam ja Vishnu. Oh, someone else read?
I can read. O all-pervading Vishnu, as I see you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouth, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind.
Right. So Arjuna is like, because the universal form is all around and it's so big and it's looking so ferocious now, and Arjuna is just like, he's getting dizzy. He's saying that I can't maintain my steadiness of mind. He's like getting mentally disturbed, and he's losing his balance, and he's disoriented. He's getting disoriented. And yeah. So Krishna, what he's doing here is he's manifesting his destructive feature. So we know that Krishna is he's the cause of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of all the universes. And now he's manifesting his destructive feature. So this destructive feature is very dreadful, right? And that's why we're going to see in the next verses he's talking about the Lord showing his dreadful teeth and death-like faces. And yeah. So let's go ahead. Damstra karalani chate mukani drishtva kalanala sannibhani disho na jane na labhe sharma prasida devesha jagannivasa. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. Yeah, so he's saying, Dumstra means teeth. Dumstra Karalani, and Karalani means terrible. Seeing your terrible teeth. Um, then he says, Kala Anala. Kalana means that the fire. Anala is fire, and Kala means time. Or Prabhupada translates it the fire of death, because time brings about death. And so Kala Anala means the fire of death. It's like pretty heavy stuff here. And he's saying Sharma Prasida. In other words, like, be pleased, be merciful. Yeah, please be gracious to me. Jagat, and then he calls him Deva Isha, Lord of Lords. It's because in this universal form, he's displaying all the different demigods, all the forms of the demigods. And he's saying that you are the Lord of all these demigods. So please just calm everybody down. Please make this universal form become calm because it's getting a little riled up here. It's getting a little scary. And then he calls him Jagat Nivasa. So Jagat means the universe, and Nivasa means the abode or the refuge. So he's saying you are the shelter of the whole universe. But now it's looking like you're going to scorch this universe and burn it to ashes. You're showing the whole thing, and then you're showing all this fire of death and blazing death-like faces, and you know, um, so just please, because you're the shelter, you're the abode of the refuge of the universe, then please protect the universe. Don't burn the universe to ashes. Okay. Now remember way back when, a few verses, the other day we were reading the verses where Krishna was saying to Arjuna that, text 7 of this chapter, he says, "O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place." So Arjuna's on the battlefield. And so what does he want to see? What does he want to know? He wants to know the outcome of the battle. He wants to know, like, who's going to win, who's going to lose, who's going to die in this battle, and who's going to emerge victorious. So now Krishna's going to show. But actually, our time is up. So we're going to stay tuned to see what is Krishna going to show Arjuna for next class. The next class is going to have to be, oh my God, because I won't be able to give class tomorrow. And then there's Sunday, and then there's Monday. So the next class is going to have to be Tuesday. Oh, no, Tuesday. You know, we could actually have class on Monday because I won't be able to do Tuesday. But I should be able to do Monday because Tuesday I'm going to be on the flight, I think. Yeah, I think my flight goes around that time. And since we're missing Saturday and maybe probably missing Tuesday, then let's have class on Monday. Is that okay? All right.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So then I'll miss you for a couple of days over the weekend and then we'll come back. Okay, fantastic. It's been nice visualizing this universal form and imagining what it might feel like to see it, right? Anyways, this universal form is going to get worse. Stay tuned. All right. Any reflections you want to share about what we read today? Yes, Alia?
I'm just a curious question about reflecting about, all the creative and destructive nature of Krishna.
Mm,
I see, like, um, my question is about non-dualism and dualism,
mm,
and also, so another question is about why they pray, or why we have, the sages and the demigods pray, and for the, to content or to please, the destructive nature of Krishna. That's something, like, came in my mind about, understand what or is our point of on the nature of Krishna. I don't know if my question is
Yeah,
clear, but I have that.
I think I understood what you're getting at. So yeah, the duality of like, good and bad, or fearful and peaceful, right? And also creation and destruction. Yeah, so we see that all these things are within Krishna. So Krishna is the cause of creation, he's the cause of maintenance, and he's the cause of destruction. And in Krishna is all good. So everything that Krishna does, whether he's creating or whether he's destroying, it's all good. It's all for the best for everyone concerned. But so the duality is not with Krishna, the duality is with us, because we perceive creation as a good thing and we perceive destruction as a bad thing, right? We perceive, like, when a baby is born, we think it's a great thing. When somebody dies, we think it's a terrible thing. But from Krishna's point of view, it's all just happening as it should be, right? Uh, the soul is born because he has to have a certain experience in this lifetime. When that karma is burned up, or when it's time for that person to go to the next step, next stage, next phase of the journey, then he leaves that body and goes to another body, or goes back home, back to Godhead, even better, right? So uh, we perceive death as a bad thing, but death could be a great thing, right? If somebody who's suffering in an old, diseased body gets free from that misery and invalidity and is able to, go back home, back to the spiritual world and get an eternal spiritual form, which never gets hurt, never gets sick, never gets old, and they can serve Krishna in ecstatic love there eternally, then that's a great thing, right? Like death was like the best thing that ever happened to that person. So yeah, the duality is all due to our perception, which is, contaminated by material consciousness. So Krishna doesn't have that. And the reason that the demigods are saying, calm it down, be peaceful, this is getting a little too much here, is because the demigods, they're not pure devotees, right? They have some material, their consciousness is materially tinged. They're pious, they're good people, they're devotees, but they're not pure. They still have material attachments and desires, and that's why they're still in the material world. So they want everything to be nice and peaceful and beautiful and pleasurable and like that. And that's why they're in the heavenly planets, because for the most part, life there is pretty comfortable. They want everything to be nice and comfortable. So as soon as things get uncomfortable, they're like, oh no, this is a problem. This has to stop. We have to fix it. He has to stop doing that. Right? But uh, but it means they don't have faith. They don't have faith that God is all good and that he's also omniscient and that he's in control. Right? Like if I lose control and start yelling and like smashing things, then you guys are all going to be very uncomfortable with that. Right? You're going to think, oh no, this is really bad and someone needs to restrain her. Right? She needs to stop yelling and stop breaking things. Right? That's like a normal response. But that's because, I'm doing it because I lost control, right? I lost control of my mind, of my anger, and I just like, I'm having an episode of loss of control. Whereas, not that I've ever done that, and hopefully I never will, but yeah, that sometimes happens that people do things like that. But if Krishna does it, it's not loss of control. Krishna is totally in control at every moment. And he also knows everything. So he knows what is the best thing to do, what is the right thing to do, what is the most beneficial thing to do. And he's all good. So he's always going to do that which is the best for everyone, that which causes the highest good for everyone. It's always going to be like a win-win situation. So the demigods are saying, no, this shouldn't, don't make such a like a display like this. It's this is not good. You need to be peaceful. Because they don't understand the situation. They don't understand everything. They just have a very limited perspective, limited understanding on what Krishna is trying to achieve. And what the Lord's trying to achieve here is that, yeah, he's demonstrating that they're in the battlefield, all these people are trying to kill each other, but nothing is happening without Krishna's will, by Krishna's control. And so the outcome of the battle is going to be exactly what Krishna wants it to be. No matter who's on what side, no matter what weapons they have, no matter whatever happens, it's going to be what Krishna wants because he's the supreme, all-powerful controller, and he is also, he's birth, source of birth, and he's also the source of death. Divya?
So I'm just wondering, like, do the demigods, if they don't have faith in him, do they not fully understand their positions as like, everything is happening through the will of Krishna, and we're just kind of like we're instruments, and it's happening through us. He's using us as instruments. We're just servants. Do they not understand their position that way? So there's nothing to
No.
really be worried about.
Yeah, no, the demigods get in a lot of anxiety. Like when the
Okay.
demons attack, they're like totally stressed out. Even sometimes you see the demigods like Lord Indra, he gets insecure even when, earthlings are performing too many austerities or doing too many sacrifices that they're going to get too powerful and take over his position and all that. So the demigods, they don't have complete faith in the Lord. They still they put a lot of faith in their own abilities, their own powers and things. And yeah, they see themselves as little controllers, right? Like when the Brajavasis stopped the sacrifice for Indra, Indra's like, what is this? How dare they? How dare they listen to this young boy who doesn't, what does he know anyway? And, why are they listening to him? He got very upset, right? So he's attached to his position that I'm the controller and these people are supposed to be worshiping me and they need to worship me. And if they don't worship me, they need to learn a lesson and I'm going to teach them that lesson, right? And then he just put a huge thunderstorm on Vrindavan. So, yeah, he got a little puffed up there thinking that he's the supreme controller. And then Krishna had to show him, that his thunder and lightning and all his rain and all his wind and whatever, it didn't affect a single person because he's not the controller, Krishna is. And then Indra had to come down and pay his obeisances and be like, sorry, I thought I was the supreme controller, but I realize I'm just your humble servant, your insignificant servant. Please forgive me. So like that, yeah, the demigods, they get bewildered. Okay. Yeah, and that's another thing that Krishna is showing here is that because this is Krishna, it's not Vishnu, it's not, this is Krishna, and he's showing that he's the source of all the Vishnu incarnations. He's the source and the Lord of all the demigods. He's the source and the Lord of all the universes, all the planets, the sun, the moon, the fire, everything. And he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, good. We better wrap it up then. So we'll see you on Monday. I'll just post it in the group, that Krishna's Dallas community group, and whether they're going to have class or not. Okay, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Prabhupada
Thank you,
Priya.
Prabhupada Priya.